We've been seeing quite a bit of copy and paste with the design of a lot of these retro handhelds lately. It's nice to see something a little more original. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Trimui Smart Pro. It's a horizontal style retro emulation handheld that has a very affordable price tag and alleges to handle quite a bit. But how well does it actually perform? Let's find out. Inside the box, you have the Smart Pro itself, a USB Type-C cable for data transfer and charging, and a little quick guide cutout. Taking a closer look at the handheld itself, its design is almost like a PlayStation Vita and a Switch Lite were put into a blender, which is very sleek. I actually really like this design. As far as layout goes, you have 4 face buttons, 2 analog sticks, a directional pad, start, select, and menu button. The buttons are tactile and clicky, similar to what you'd find on a PlayStation Vita or the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Over on the top, you have 2 shoulder buttons and 2 of these nubby style trigger-ish buttons. You can tell they're designed to be very similar to that on the Nintendo Switch Lite, but they're very small and a bit uncomfortable to use. So playing shooters on this thing could be kind of annoying. You also have power, volume rocker, and a USB Type-C port that's used for data transfer as well as OTG. Over on the bottom, you have this FN switch, another USB Type-C port that's used for power, the micro SD card slot, a microphone, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. Under the hood, it's got a Cortex A53 quad-core, a Power VR GE8300, has a 5000 mAh battery, and a 4.9-inch IPS display. And speaking of the display, this thing is really nice. It's got a really good brightness to it, and the colors are nice and vibrant. It would have been really awesome if this thing had a touch display, but that's just a minor nitpick. It alleges to be able to emulate about 29 home and handheld retro consoles, and is very competitively priced in terms of budget handhelds. The highest it seems to be able to go is about PSP and Dreamcast, so I decided to start there. The Dreamcast emulator is RetroArch based and is a combo of Dreamcast and Sega Naomi emulators. The library is pretty solid, and I'm glad to see some Naomi versions of games like Cannon Spike on here. If you're into shoot 'em ups like me, this thing is ideal. Being able to utilize the full horizontal screen makes playing on here a hell of a lot of fun. Overall, I'd say the Dreamcast performance was very solid. The PSP performance was overall decent, but it's not without its flaws. You will experience some slowdown with some of the more demanding games, but I'd say most games that were on here were definitely playable. The pre-installed library of PSP games was really good, and playing PSP games on this screen was a really great experience. The Nintendo DS game selection is very limited, and the games that are present, you really feel the lack of the touch display here. It's not too big of a deal. They have it set up so that you hold the right trigger and use the analog stick as a touch mechanism. It takes a tad bit getting used to, but using touch in certain games is very possible using this method. I would have liked to have seen some more games on here, but at least it has 3 of the major Pokemon titles. N64 is good. The library has almost everything you'd want. Missing are the pro wrestling games like WCW Revenge or WWF No Mercy. Even if you weren't a wrestling fan, you enjoyed playing these games back in the N64 era. Most games perform well. It teased the hell out of me with Killer Instinct Gold. Everything from the menu to the character select screen was running beautifully, and then it just randomly crashes. N64 runs about as good, if not better, than some of the other handhelds at this price point. The PS1 game selection is a little skimpy, but some of the heavy hitters are on here. Performance was overall good, but if you're looking for a handheld specifically to relive the PlayStation 1 experience, I could think of a few better ones on the market. And of course, all of your 8-bit and 16-bit handheld and home consoles run and look great on this 4.9-inch display. Preloaded libraries are top-notch, and all of the really old school stuff seemed to run really good. So the Smart Pro by Trimui. For the price, you guys are getting a hell of a lot. Having all of these PSP and DS games in one convenient package is actually really nice. It has a few games that don't run well or simply don't run at all, which is a tad bit annoying, but my overall experience was pretty positive. It might not be as pocket-sized as some of the other budget handhelds on the market, but performance-wise, it exceeds a lot of the others at the same price point. Combine that with its really nice display, and I think we have a real contender for the best bang for your buck on the market. If you guys are interested in the Smart Pro, I'll put links in the description below. Until next time, this is Ness, signing out.